Thank you so much for listening to the third in this series of micro-webinars. Please note it will be possible to download a copy of the diagram and a summary of what I've said today, so don't feel that you have to take screenshots or notes. The topic today is what skills do telcos need for AI, analytics and automation, referred to as A3 today, both immediately and into the longer term. The diagram builds down the rows from top towards the bottom, setting out telco skills and capabilities that will be needed in order to support future activities. The columns just group activities together, so all those related to strategy, then making changes within the organisation, and then pulling out training and new capabilities needed, because I began to see a lot of requirements as I did my research. Starting from the top row, these are the sorts of actions telcos are taking today. The next layer includes items which virtually all telcos will build in the medium term, though it's possible that some small and specialist telcos will not require everything on this layer, unless it brings a worthwhile cost saving and/or competition or their customers are using them effectively and they need to invest in order to compete successfully. The next 10 years looks towards a telco with a lot of automation and intelligence, considering what changes it will need to make. Lastly, ecosystem players include items which larger telcos will require to enable them to play successfully with partners, other ecosystem players, customers and suppliers. Obviously not something every telco will need, but something that the larger ones will be building in the next 5 years. Considering the first row reasonably briefly, since most telcos are already in the middle of working on these, the biggest current issue appears to be having suitable data sets. We see some automation and machine learning coming into data management, but expect more to be needed in order to improve timely availability and quality. Telcos will need humans increasingly working with machines to create good enough versions of the truth about customers to enable decisions to be made by marketing, sales and around customer experience. In the next column, trust and risk programs will create new policies and procedures around governance, and then trust includes concepts such as explainable AI. Also, a risk measurement and mitigation program looking not only at return on investment, but also in future a set of rules for both humans and machines to follow as they work together. Lastly, the Office of the CDO. I see telcos developing a variety of slightly different configurations for this, but the general consensus seems to be the single point of leadership which has control over scarce resources such as data scientists helps to push forward A3 activities. Moving to the second row, telcos are already underway with moves to the cloud to give them access to innovative services from the hyperscalers and also third-party data. And a distributed architecture will be needed composed of multiple virtualized stores. Also, we see multinational telcos working towards a certain amount of standardization to allow group deals and the sharing of knowledge and algorithms, as well as the standardization for important functions such as governance and security. I've also noted the need for a complexity reduction program. This really is to combat the issues of implementing new automations which are sensitive to bad data and processes. Tools in this program include customer journey mapping and the potential for creation of an automation map which holds a summary of various information related to individual automations, including workflows, underlying systems, architectures, data and usage and various other information. Also, the use of machine learning to find and improve error detection in data and processes. Lastly, a company-wide education program is already underway and is expected to start to include a range of new skills to allow humans and machines to work together effectively. As we move out towards the 5 to 10 year timeframe on the third row, various organisational changes will be needed. The use of AI and ML in the design of products and processes will push telcos and the world around them into new, faster development cycles. Telcos will need employees with both creative and business skills as machines increasingly provide the technology expertise to do the routine tasks, and these employees will need to dream up and supervise the creation of products, services and customer experiences more quickly. Dealing with democratization, so this is where more employees will be empowered to work with AI and ML. Data science and other specialists will increasingly take over roles as overseers and assurance of the system. This will not be as straightforward as relatively unskilled workers will be using complex systems, so there's going to need to be some interesting thinking around this area. New management skill sets will be needed as some of the day-to-day management tasks, for example, rota management in large teams, will be done by machines. This will free up management to undertake more creative tasks. Theoretically, the amount of education needed by humans should reduce somewhat with machines working alongside them, as machines will be able to educate humans as they work. And in reverse, humans will teach machines things that require a human brain to figure out. And so this situation is just noted here as needing some new thinking around training and education. Another interesting topic, I think. Moving to the final row. So to date, telcos have not really got up enough enthusiasm for trading their data in marketplaces, partly due to privacy issues and also immaturity of these marketplaces. However, theoretically, it makes sense to bring purchasers and sellers of data together. And this type of trading system will help settle upon price points and add liquidity to the market. But it remains to be seen whether they become more attractive to telcos or not. Adding analytics, AI and automation at the edge will be another skill set for telcos and their partners. Trust and risk programs were mentioned earlier, and these will need to be extended into the ecosystems where telcos wish to play, including partners, customers and suppliers. I've also made a note here about the need for customer experience around IoT, which will require analytics and automation. This gets quite interesting when you think about bots in the telcos interacting directly with the device in order to resolve issues. In terms of capabilities required as telcos expand their A3 activities into their ecosystems, there's likely to be a need for specific external staff for short periods who can run experimental or specialist projects to test out A3 deployments and get them working. Then lastly, cutting-edge programs which upskill the workforce to use A3 tools for competitive advantage against a large number of different competitors. These programs will need to rival their strongest competitors, who will most likely be some distance ahead of them. So it'll be really interesting to see what telcos decide to do here. I hope that this very speedy discussion of my diagram, where I think each bullet point is an interesting and worthy of much more discussion in itself, was helpful and thought-provoking. And please don't forget to download the couple of pages of summary. Thank you.